Good morning, Ms. Sajedi.
Good morning, Mr. Ga.
Great to have you here in this interview about the speech that Reza Pahlavi gave at the conference of the US National Conservatives.
Yes.
We're going to do a series of interviews because it's a very rich speech and there are several topics which need to be looked at very closely.
Yes.
Let's start today with some aspects which we already have in his first sentence. He said, Western civilization and the United States in particular is at risk. So what kind of risk is he talking about?
Yes. Thank you very much for giving me the chance to express my opinion. And indeed, the speech of King Reza Pahlavi is very important and is a turning point, I think. In the first sentence or first paragraph of his speech, you have heard something about the risk, but also you have heard something about an unholy ally between red and black. Which is a narrating from his father, the late king, the Shah, before the revolution of 1979. I'm going to explain about the speech of then, I mean the late king, and then I will come back to the speech of the King Reza Pahlavi.
Okay, great. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Then sometimes we heard from the late king that he used a special term. Precisely, he said unholy ally between red and black ribbons. And because then was always speaking about the great civilization, and Iran was going to achieve some goals which can be interpreted to a new civilization. The actions of the red and black ribbons was actually against this policy, the policy of the late king. And now I have explained about the risk that we have today in Western societies, and this risk is continue of the risk then was made. Then was two big streams in Iranian society: left and religious, red and black. And both use the violence, and I mean that terror as their goals. They have killed too many people in Iran. For example, the Islam devoters, fight on Islam, they killed too many people, intellectuals, ministers, foreign ministers, prime ministers, academician, two people they killed. Also, the left, the Communist Party, tried to kill at least 4 times to assassinate the late king. But what we are going to confront today, the risk, I will explain to this, but just I have to point out that this procedure is very complex, and it should be studied in 3 phases. The phase of roots, examining the roots, the phase of examining the shaping and forming of this risk, and the phase of functioning, and the phase of confronting with this risk at this moment. Through an reverse engineering, I'm going begin from the last part, because you said to me that before this recording that I have. You prefer that I transfer the core message in place of the knowledge. That's why I'm not go very deep in this issue, but just I explain what we have seen at this time.
Very good. So later we can still go into the depth of knowledge, maybe in a written form.
Yes, if we have time, yes. Actually, we encounter the danger, yes, in our daily life on the streets. And we cannot deny that the terrorist attacks, for example, the uncontrollable rise of the fundamentalism, the polarization, the bipolarity of the societies, radicalization, increasing radicalization in both form, digital and local radicalization. Migration crisis. I have to say that organized immigration or migration, organized crimes, combination between the terrorism, making combination between terrorism and organized crimes. Changing in the demographic situation of the societies. Disinformation campaigns just are examples of the risk that the Western societies are confronting. I have made some paper here. Sometimes I have to check it because maybe I forgot the keywords and the concepts. Sorry, that to be exact, I have to sometimes get help from my list. Anyhow, what we can say that all these risks and all these dangers can be classified in one phenomena, and this is hybrid warfare. And this hybrid warfare has, you know, that as a special definition. I think that you are familiar with this conception, but it's new conception as from the war, about the war, and it will says it says that a war which all tactics, conventional strategies and irregular tactics are combined to uproot a society or to achieve a military or political goal. All of threats that I have mentioned now here is an tactics from the hybrid warfare. I have to point out that this war has one phenomena. It's a mistake if we see them as separate actions. They are one phenomena, but carried out by three fronts. I mean that it's assigned to three reference. One of them is Russia, which takes the soft part, disinformation campaign we are familiar with. The bloody part is assigned to ISIS to do some regular terrorist actions. And with two goals. It aims two goals. First, to attack to our security and sense of the safe. And the second, to eager the other people prone to be radicalized. So they send message to other part of society, in residing societies in West, that still we are, and we can accept you. We
you mean to encourage?
To encourage them, yes. To encourage them, yes. But what goals they are following? I have write it down here. First of all, is an erosion of trust. In this warfare, they try to erode the trust, the social trust that is fundamental of the liberalism, fundamental of the societies based on humanism. One of them is the bipolarity. You know that now our societies everywhere is going to be polarized, and it's very dangerous. Bipolarity and division. The other one is influencing on the elections. There is too much talks about the last United States presidential, and also there is too much talks about the Brexit. And I have to inform you that the Brexit was predicted in the book of the Alexander Dugin, and that's why too many people think that it can be a manipulating, and it can be a part of the hybrid warfare. The other one is economic impact. For example, when Iran, the IRGC, because I forgot to say that the third part of this hybrid warfare is the most task is assigned to the IRGC, the organized crime, organized immigration. If you pay your attention, you can find that the biggest numbers of the migration they come from the regions where the IRGC is present there, from the countries from Yemen, from Iraq, from Syria. You have minder migration, for example, from Egypt. You have minder or nothing migrants from Saudi Arabia or Kuwait, for example. Yes, the economic reason is an issue, but from the countries that they have economic problem, but less presence of the IRGC, you have also less number migrants in this stream. So it can show us that actually the migration is organized to erode the economic foundation of our society, and also to change demographic changes in the population, with aiming to have more votes for the parties who maybe unconsciously, but anyhow, they are using this phenomena as a weapon, as a tactic in this warfare, hybrid warfare. The other one is prompting extremism. IRGC, and especially the office of the leadership of Iran, has established too much Islamic centers across the Europe and Western countries, Anglo-Saxon countries, Canada, United States, Australia, and New Zealand. Most of them are named Imam Ali centers, Imam Ali mosques, because Imam Ali mosques, because Imam Ali, the name of the Imam Ali is respected for both Shiis and Sunni, and on this way they can also manage and arrange the Sunnis. Because you know that Iran, I mean that the Republic Islamic of Iran has 10 is a Shia and Shia regime, and it's difficult to them to convince the other 90%, because the Shia are 10% of the Muslims, and for them it's difficult to convince the 90% to obey them. But they are using some tactics and techniques to make them convinced to obey the Shia leadership across the world. One of them is the use of the name Imam Ali for the mosques, and the mosque work that, so they arrange some special ceremonies, special meetings, sittings, and then they invite some figures, but from other side they invite also the migrants that they have already via an organized migration, they have already came to Western societies, and step by step they get radicalized. This is local radicalization. And this procedure will be supported by the campaign of disinformation, and one of them is digital radicalization. They use the social networks, they use the speech. For example, you see that during the occupation of the universities across the Western countries, the hateful message of Khamenei was spread, and was spread, sorry, and everywhere you can see that they think that Khamenei, for example, as a leader for all Muslims across the world. They try to show this. But maybe you wonder that why the IRGC and Russia and ISIS are categorized as the same identities in the backend office of this war, because it needs two explanations. Just I have to say to you that Iran is the connecting ring between these two, because usually the Sunnis have nothing to do with the communism and with the Russia. But Iran has an with an ideology of Shia, part of the Shia, the state Shia of Iran. Part of them is common with the Sunnis beliefs, and part of them is common with the Orthodox beliefs. And on this way, they could connect, for example, Hamas to the Russia, and you know that you see that the Russia and Hamas are at the same front. And as the last thing that I have to explain, is very important to know that then I mean that in the time of the Shah, the late Shah, the cooperation between left and right was strategically, not ideological. But now we see also above the strategic cooperation and kind of ideological convergence between red and black. Just as an example, during the Second World War, when the Soviet Union fought with Nazi Germany, was in full cooperation with the United States and United Kingdom, but their cooperation was strategic and not ideological. But the cooperation between United States and United Kingdom was also ideological above their strategic requirements. And now we see a very dangerous convergence in ideology between IRGC and Russia. And this is the main motivation of their cooperation to fighting with the liberalism. As the last thing, all these three identity, I mean ISIS, Russia, and IRGC, are in hostile with modernity, and they see the modernity and the humanism and the liberalism as the common enemy, and that makes them in a strategic cooperation. But especially they have also an ideological convergence, which I will explain later if we have time.
Yes, wonderful. Can you tell me a few names from the camp of the IRGC or the state religious people in Iran, a few names of the Russian ideologues who are working to increase these risks? And can you tell me some of the Western politicians' names, of Western US politicians or Western European politicians who maybe knowingly, maybe unknowingly support the procedure of these risks?
The very famous name of the Russian philosopher is Alexander Dugin. You know that he has a special theory named the fourth theory. And he arranged three theory: socialism, communism, liberalism, and fascism. So it's very important and very interesting that he categorized democracy and liberalism along and aside with the fascism, and said that, okay, I have a fourth theory, and his fourth theory is an collectivism, and believe that and for example, Russian collectivism is an answer to global problem that apparently is made by Russia by itself. In Iran, we have another name, for example, Misbah Yazdi. I can name this, that both they believe to apocalyptic beliefs that they believe to they are in the last days. And you know that Alexander Dugin has written also another book, The Foundation of Geopolitics and Russian and Geopolitics of Russia. And in this book, he has explained that the Russia, like Nazi Germany, that the Russia needs more space to breathe, and the Russia has to have a bigger space. And this Eurasia, Uranianism is a theory that dominates Europe and Asia at the same time. In this book, he has assigned a role for Persian emperor that Empire of Persia should capture all the Islamic countries, and they should be bring under control. Then the Persian Empire will be eligible to be a friend or to be a second-hand ally with the Eurasia. And we know that, and we see that we can justify now, we can explain the strategy and the actions of the IRGC in the Middle East. In this book, Alexander Dugin consider some turmoils for the other parts of the world, even for China, even for Turkey, but for Persian Empire, for Japan, and for a part of Germany, he assigned some roles to help Eurasia to get control over across the world. United States should be also in turmoil, and we see that the stages of the hybrid warfare is aligned with content of this book. Maybe the people think that, okay, this is just a book and we should not give too much credit to this book.
Many think that way, yes.
Yes, but just I have to point out that according to Dugin and his friends, myself, that is can be found that they said that this book is all taught in all academic and military universities. It means that the mind of the officers and generals of politicians of the Russia is shaped and formed with the content and with the goals explained in this book. That's why I think that we have to have some credit for this book anyhow. And furthermore, we can see that some instructions instructed in this book is carried out in Europe and in Middle East also. In the West, unfortunately, the left traditionally support the Russia, support the Russian or neglect the threats from the Russia. And
they might support an image they have of Russia because they don't realize what the ideology behind what is now Russia might be.
I think that they have made the Russia is with the assistance of Iran IRGC. They are using the other international issues to get these forces obligatory in their own front, in their own side. For example, the people, when the people come to a street and support the Palestine idea without knowing that what are going support, they are unwillingly in the side of Russia, and they are exercising the practice to achieve the goals determined and explained by Russia. That's why I prefer to don't name somebody, but just I talk about the extremes. that the left and even the left news, the left medias also. You know that 70% of the media, of the international media, are on the left side. And because the left, actually, they use also populism. And the populism is an foil for the survival of the medias and newspaper, because they have to sell their idea and their news. And in this way also they are on the side of Russia, even unwillingly.
So to sum it up, thank you for the first. To sum it up, you say these are the risks that Reza Pahlavi, the prince of Iranian monarchy, is talking about in his speech he delivered at the National Conservative Convention.
Yes, because the risks that he explained for him and for the Iranian are not strange, but maybe is strange. That was that because they have all experienced this risk and the sequences of this risk, and he tries to explain, but. It's. I think that it's difficult to him to convince them that how the risk rate is.
All
And
right.
is.
Yes, thank you. So next interview, we will focus on the role of Reza Pahlavi, of Reza Pahlavi for the future of Iran, and maybe mm, the the right steps to avoid more risks for Western civilization.
Yes, yes, with pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sajedi. Have a
Merci.
great day.
Thank you. Bye.